Tiga, and we're here live in Moscow, Russian Republic, at the Nokia Trends Lab, 2008. Well, I was presented with the opportunity. We did a remix competition, which was one track of mine off my last album called "Do It, Don't Stop," the song. I gave out the parts, and they did a competition where I guess it must have been only Russian participants, I think. And they had the opportunity to remix it, and then I was judging the competition. I got to listen to all of them and pick what I considered to be the best one, which is a little bit weird because it's judging music is, it's a bit tricky because, it's my opinion of which I like the best. Anyway, and yeah, so I got the results. They narrowed down to the finalists, and I got sent 10 remixes of my track. And I listened to them, and I was actually surprised. Well, not surprised. I was impressed with the overall quality, because at least about half of the ones I got, I really had a tough time deciding between them. I narrowed it down to 3, and then right before we were getting on the airplane the other day, my manager was like, "You have to pick one." And right before I got on the plane, I picked a winner, and I think I announced the winner tonight, actually. To judge music, it's such a subjective thing, because really I use the same procedure as when I'm picking records to sign to my own label, whatever. It's just really what I like the most. It's a completely selfish, completely subjective opinion. I don't know. I can't put it into words. It's the same feeling if you walk into a record store and you hear something and you want it, or you're in a car and you hear 3 seconds of a song on the radio and you want to know what it is, It's an instant reaction. That's one of my favorite things about music, is it's quite non-cerebral in that way. It's not really calculated. It's more like a reflex. That's what DJing is all about, letting that, you got to let that reflex. You can't interfere in it. You have to be very honest with yourself about what you really like and what you really don't. So that's what I did with judging the mix. It was just, well, which is the one that I would listen to and which is the one that I prefer. I asked to get a copy of it. Yeah, I think I will play it. I was very happy with the results, and I also thought it was, I think it's nice as far as, with corporate events and, there's so much stuff out there now, like media, web, this, everyone. I think it's a nice thing that it was just actually working on music, quite simple, traditional in that way. And I think it's nice for fans as well. It's nice because they got the parts to a song, which is very rare, because that's something nobody would have, I think it was a good plan. But I think I'm going to consider playing the track, possibly tonight. If he's there, maybe it'd be nice to play it. It'd be a nice gesture. Do I have any idols? Yes, I have many idols, but they're falling fast. I do. I have a lot of heroes, and they change. I use heroes as a kind of motivational tool, I fall in love with people quite easily, like whoever. Right now, like Karl Lagerfeld, It could be anybody who I'm very impressed. Anybody who's very curious and very ambitious and very passionate about what they do is very appealing, I mean, in the old days, I guess, obviously there's David Bowie. He's got a lifetime subscription to my club. Prince is somebody that's a big one. Aphex Twin, somebody that I always was a big fan of. And now I guess it's branched out a little bit more to, yeah, somebody like a Karl Lagerfeld and their writers, Nabokov, I don't know. I'm pretty impressionable, and I kind of, yeah, I'm impressed by people. Specifically, who's here? Leonard Cohen is probably my real hero, because, people who've transcended their art form and actually lived a life that's just so impressive, who just have their own philosophy so sewn up, and then it's not just inspiring as a person, but as a man, I want to live like that, So Leonard Cohen's my hero, and he's from Montreal.